It can be so difficult to capture people's attention online, and it is infuriating if you've got a solution that you know will help someone, but they just walk past anyway. Most salespeople or business owners will recognize this cartoon, and they've probably either laughed at it or wept at it at a certain point in their career, depending on how they were doing with their sales quota at that time. People tend to laugh at the two in front who are so preoccupied with their problem that they can't look for a solution. And there's kind of some truth in that, but also you've got to look at that salesperson as well that's trying to sell those wheels. They're not doing a very good job. It's not the salesperson's fault that those people can't see past their problem or can't give the time, but it is their responsibility, because no one in this situation is winning. If a salesperson wants to move things forward, they've got to change the conversation and got to find a different way in to get these guys' attention. And the way that I would do that is by creating content focusing on this guy's foot pain or his knee pain or his back pain, or how long they're spending of their day going back and forth with this cart. And the reason that's useful is because of something called the red car theory. So if I asked you now how many red cars you've seen today, you probably won't recall seeing many. But if it's in your mind, you'll start noticing them all over the place. And that's the same. If we're struggling or suffering with something, we will notice the things that relate to that. So use that to your advantage. If you know that there are things that your prospects are struggling with, that's going to resonate, and they're going to notice that a bit more because they're in that problem and that challenge every day. Use that as a hook to get them into some content that's ultimately going to lead them to a solution. One example of that might be in the accounting and bookkeeping space. Most firms struggle with hiring and retaining talent and having that capacity to go after all the opportunities that exist. So why don't you go and speak to your internal HR team and interview someone from there, then share that content with your accountants, going through things like how you create a great culture, how you onboard staff, how you retain staff, how you deal with all those sorts of things. Create that content, send it to your partners and say, look, I know that this is an issue for you, so I've pulled this together. I hope it's helpful. Let me know if there's anything else we can do. Use that as a start point for that conversation. Ideally, that's something that then ultimately leads to your solution, like the foot ache and the back ache ultimately lead to the fact that the wheel's square, it's not working enough, and therefore a circular wheel would help, right? It all leads back to that point. So just try and find that first nugget of a start point that leads to your solution, and that's how you get attention online.